Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning if you are joining us from Adelaide. So unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware that there's this thing called cloud accounting that can bring your business some massive benefits. Today, we want to run through some of these advantages and give you some practical tips for maximising the benefits of cloud accounting and talk through some real life examples that we've seen with our clients. So to make this as relevant as I can for you, can you please complete our first poll, which I will send to you now. Just bear with me. So if you can, if you don't mind, just bear with my technical clunkiness here. If you can tell us, what kind of business do you have? Are you an architect? Are you a plumber? Are you a beauty therapist? Are you a guitar teacher? Let us know what kind of business you're in. I'd also love it if you could ask any questions that you might have and maybe share some of your experiences using the chat function. I believe the button is at the bottom of your screen. So if at any point you want to ask a question or say anything, just pop those in there. My colleague Ethan might jump in and answer some of these as we go, or where I can, I'll talk to them during the webinar. Anything I miss, I'll come back to at the end, and we'll have some time then where we can have some Q&A as well. So to get the best best viewing experience today, this is a Zoom webinar, so please make sure that your other browsers are shut and anything else that might be stealing your bandwidth on your end, and that way you won't get any like crackling or blackouts or anything like that. Throughout the webinar today, you'll notice that we do reference specific products. At BDO, we're not product resellers. We do partner with a number of key software providers to make sure that we're providing our clients with market-leading solutions for their business, but we don't receive commission or kickbacks or anything from these partners. And in fact, sometimes we even recommend products that are different where the client might have a particular need. So having said all that, all the products that we do reference in today's webinar are fantastic, and I highly recommend you check them out or perhaps ask your BDO accountant about them. So my name is Shai Thyer. I'm the National Cloud and Advisory Specialist for BDO in Australia. I am joined today by my colleague and resident BDO Cloud champion, Ethan Barraclough. He'll help me get through some of your questions and also help me make sure this runs really smooth. Now, I thought it might be helpful to give you a bit of context about why I'm so passionate about cloud accounting, which some people might consider incredibly geeky, but I think it's really cool. So cloud for me is really the key to a future fit business. So when I started in the accounting industry, I started in practice, and like many others, I spent my days completing tax returns for my clients. And this is incredibly important. As we know, we need to make sure the ATO gets the right information and that clients don't pay any more tax than they should. Sometimes though, I was completing tax returns and financial statements like 6 or 9 or 12 months after the end of the financial year. And our firm, like many firms, had a mission that was some iteration of, we help our clients succeed. So I was a little bit confused, I was a little bit perplexed. Of course, I was helping my clients with their ATO lodgements, but how could I ever really be in a position to help them, succeed in their business if I only ever saw the books once a year and sometimes a year after the fact? So I guess in seeking a way to learn about the business or to learn about business in general, and getting in a position where I could really influence and help drive success in a business, I spent most of my early career managing the internal finance function of that firm. So this at least gave me, a monthly perspective and monthly access to information that I could use to advise the board and the business owners and help them to make decisions in their business. But I was still frustrated. The way that we pass information on to people in the business that need to make decisions, and sometimes these are big, hard decisions, it was still flawed in my opinion. They don't wait until the end of month to make decisions. They have to make them every day of the week. And yet our processes always hinge around this end of month thing. And by the time we closed for processing and made adjustments and produced pretty reports and analysis and all that sort of thing, sometimes it was nearly the end of the next month. So we're sometimes working with information that could be as old as 50 days. And don't even get me started on how much paper is involved in the process. So I just knew there had to be a better way. So, okay, compared to some of my colleagues in the industry, I was a relatively late adopter of cloud. I hadn't even heard of Xero until 2014. The shame of it, I know. But when I did discover this amazing world of automation and real-time data, it was the missing piece of the puzzle I'd been looking for. All the time, at the time I was working as a CFO for about 10 smaller businesses that weren't big enough to have a full-time CFO. And cloud allowed me to review their position any day of the week. I could monitor the key drivers for their business, pick up the phone immediately, talk to the business owner, whatever they needed. Nothing waited until end of month anymore. So cloud has given me the privilege of working closely with more businesses and more business owners to help them turn all of their courage, their grit and their determination into success. So cloud really is the key to future fit business. And I guess the confronting thing for those of you that are in business is if you're not getting on board with cloud, then you risk getting left behind. If your competitors are adopting cloud and enjoying really efficient ways of running their business, then their margins are going to be better than yours. And this is really scary. So many industries, well, so many industries now are hyper competitive. Our industry definitely is. Xero alone have seen a 31% growth in subscribers this year. And that's just one brand of accounting software. So many businesses are getting on board with the cloud. Is the only way to stay competitive to sort out your accounting software? Well, of course not. But it's one simple thing you can do to make sure all your efforts in the top line, driving sales and revenue, does eventually hit the bottom line, and you can continue to do that thing that you love. There's so many ways that cloud accounting benefits our business. So today I want to work through 5 key areas where you can maximize these benefits and truly leverage the modern accounting system that you have or that you're looking to adopt. The first one is automation. Now, unless you're a very passionate bookkeeper, doing the books is not actually that fun. So we want to make sure that the process is quick and easy and painless as possible, right? So we can, get back to the things we want to do, whether that's spending more time in our business or spending time with family or friends. When we let the software take on most of the grunt work, it takes that heavy lifting out of doing the books. And this is one of the most significant ways that cloud accounting is better than old school desktop accounting software. All across the finance function, cloud accounting uses automation to save so many hours. And I guess the key areas that it works in are the bank reconciliation process, looking after payroll, and in expenses, so the accounts payable function. Automation of the bank rec process in cloud accounting software is absolutely game-changing. There's no need anymore to manually replicate the entries that are on your bank statement, only then to check them off against entries that you've also manually keyed into your accounting system. Our clients experience anywhere up to 75% reduction in effort in reconciling their bank when they're using cloud. So other things you can do with bank recs in cloud accounting software, you can set up rules so that the software recognizes regular transactions and codes them for you. And the software is so smart that it even remembers what you did with a particular transaction last time and will suggest the coding for you. So all you've got to do is click OK. And this is machine learning in action, and it's absolutely awesome. In payroll, it's pretty common to see a process that looks something like this. Excuse me. So a roster gets produced, say, in Excel or in Word. It gets stuck on the wall. The staff might call in or they'll visit to see what shifts they need to work. They work their shifts. They complete their timesheets on paper, maybe put it in some kind of folder. Then payroll collects the timesheets from the folder, key them into the payroll system. They finalise the pays. They print off the pay slips, they put them in envelopes, the staff collect them, they key the pay into online banking and the staff get paid. And then they do the necessary lodgements with super funds and ATO and the like. So cloud accounting digitizes this entire process. It removes all of the paper, all of the rekeying, and more than half of the steps in the process. So it might look something more like this. So the rosters are produced in an app. The app delivers the rosters to the staff. The staff works the shifts, obviously they still have to do that, but the staff complete their timesheets in the same app. Payroll finalises the pays super fast because the timesheets are already populated in the pay run. Staff self-service their pay slips and any other payroll documents that they need in the app again. And lodgements with the ATO, for example, are all automated by a single touch payroll. So one of the awesome spin-offs of adopting modern automated cloud-based process for your payroll is your staff love it. The easier a thing is to do, the more likely it is to get done right. So if you're struggling to get people to complete timesheets, or they're missing shifts, or you've got errors in your payroll, consider how much easier the cloud process is and the effect this could have on morale and on culture in your business. So accounts payable, paying bills, coding expenses, all of these activities take up the most amount of time in any finance back office process. And traditionally, they're all manual and surrounded by huge amounts of paper. So cloud accounting software not only automates this process, but it overlays it with machine learning and in some cases, artificial intelligence, which is all very spooky and cool. Well, I think it's cool. So I'll give you a bit of an example. So in your old software, you would generally receive a bill in the post or email and you'd print it. You'd stick it in the tray that says to be paid. And then you might key it into your accounting software, doing all the line items and the GST and all that sort of thing. You might pay it in online banking. Hopefully no one is still writing checks. And then you'd mark it as paid in the accounting software. You'd write it as paid on the actual physical bill itself. You'd create a transaction in the accounting software that says that it's all been paid. And then you'd do the actual paper filing in the filing cabinet. So if you're using cloud accounting software, you look to reduce this effort significantly. So it might look something like this. Your supplier sends you a bill by email. The software reads the bill for you, it codes the bill for you, and it even assigns the line items and all of the GST and all that sort of stuff. And before you freak out, it gives you the chance to check it, okay? There's an element of trust involved in moving to these systems, but gives you the chance to check it. When you're happy, you okay it. So the transaction then not only has an entry in the accounting system, but it's got a PDF of the bill attached to it. So just in case, you know, your accountant wants to check it for tax, or God forbid you get an ATO order, it's all in there, it's all clean. So then you'd create a batch of payments, which you would then upload to online banking and you'd pay. The bank transaction comes through your bank feed in your accounting software automatically and already matches it off against the batch that you've just paid. All you do is click OK, job done. So typically what we see with our clients is a reduction in effort of somewhere up to 60%. And this can be massive in some businesses, particularly where there might be an entire person dedicated to accounts payable. It's something to seriously think about. Okay, so the second way cloud accounting benefits your business is by giving you better cash flow. Cash is king, as we know, and the number one reason why businesses fail is because they run out of cash. They have cash flow problems. The problems with cash flow can stem from a whole bunch of different drivers in your business. So cloud accounting helps us ensure our cash flow is under control through real-time data and clever dashboards, through advanced automation in invoicing and data follow-up, and through the integration of online payments. Invoicing with cloud accounting software is faster and smarter than old desktop software. if you're on site with a customer, for example, you can finish the job, send the customer the invoice from your mobile phone. The customer can even pay on site. Job done. No invoice backlog, no chasing. You can set up series of repeating invoices that can be emailed out in bulk, saving some serious effort. And very sneaky, you can always see what's happening on the customer's end, if the invoice has been opened, viewed, or whatnot. So when you get those pesky customers that like to tell you, oh, I never received the invoice, you know they have, and you know they've opened it. This can be really, really helpful. So what does it really cost you when your customers pay late? Do you pay someone to chase your debts for you? Do you spend your precious time chasing debts when you could be selling more things or growing your business or spending time with your family? Have you ever had to pay for debt collection? Are you stuck on the invoice financing roundabout? Ooh. The worst part about unpaid invoices, I think, and debtors is that we feel like we're working for free. There's two ways cloud accounting works with us to make sure we're not working for free and we're not wasting time and money chasing debtors. And that's with what we call Pay Now and automated debtor follow-up. So the ability to click to Pay Now is shown to be the most effective way to ensure fast collection of revenue for your hard-earned sales. Like we said before, when we make things easy, they're more likely to get done. So if you think about the old process, like the old invoicing process, your invoice is sent in the mail. Mail is slow, so let's just say it gets delivered in a week. Your customer opens the mail, they put it in their to be paid file. They get around to paying it at some stage. They log into online banking, they're rekeying the details, or they call you at the office to pay it by credit card or however they pay, and then you get paid. When we're using cloud accounting software, it allows us to deliver invoices electronically with a Pay Now option, which revolutionizes this process. So you send your email, it gets sent by, you send your invoice and it gets sent by email. Customer opens it, normally within hours of you sending it. They click to Pay Now and it's paid. Job done, all done. So when we remove the friction from the payment process, so we make it easier, it's so easy for people to pay us and we get paid faster. It's just that simple. So where Pay Now doesn't get our customers to pay, get them to pay now, cloud accounting gives us automated follow-up of our debtors to help with this. So research shows us that nearly 30% will pay on the first follow-up, so the first reminder. And then the next 30% need a second reminder to get paid. So we don't want these follow-ups to be manual, right? Not only does it take time and effort, but as business owners, we want to be distancing ourselves from this kind of conversation with our customers. It's a yucky conversation, to be honest. No one likes asking for money. And so with cloud accounting, you can set reminders to trigger at various stages. So whatever your payment terms are, it'll be 7, 14, 30, 45 days, whatever it is, wherever you like. You can customize the language to suit your business, how far up the naughty list do they have to get before they get a reminder, and then it's set and forget. So this way, any manual effort needed in chasing up unpaid invoices is really concentrated on the big old ones, the ones that really need some help and heavy lifting, or perhaps just referral to Dun & Bradstreet maybe. So I want to tell you a quick story about how this kind of functionality alone changed one of my clients' lives. Excuse me for a sec. So he was a plumber, really good one van operation, tons and tons of work on, always really busy, but he loved it. The problem was his wife wasn't very happy that every Sunday he spent the whole day doing the books. He already worked 6 days a week, and on the 7th, he spent the whole day on the computer. He was missing out on some serious family time. If I don't do this, I won't get paid, he'd say, which is totally fair enough. So I introduced him to cloud and we had a look at his process. And his current process looks something like this. He'd quote up a job, he'd win a job. He'd fix the tap or install the toilet or whatever the job was. He'd wait until Sunday, he'd invoice everyone. He'd look at his debtor list and sigh. He'd try to follow them up. He'd resend invoices that were apparently lost and get promises of payment that never came. He'd get frustrated because cash was so tight, and he'd think, maybe I need to work more to make this money. So after we're moving his business to the cloud, this is how he works now. He quotes up a job on site using his mobile phone app. He sends it to the customer. He'd win the job. He'd fix the tap, or install the toilet, or whatever he's doing. He'd convert the quote to an invoice on his mobile phone on site. He'd finalise the invoice and send it to the customer while he's there, before he left the job. If the customer was home, they'd pay on site. If not, they had the invoice ready and it was all done. All the customers received automated follow-ups for late payment at various stages, depending on how late it was. He did his bank recs in his lunch break and checked his debtors if he needed to. So now he has his Sundays back. Now he takes Mondays off because all the cash comes in. And now his wife is very, very happy. So we know that customers of cloud-powered businesses pay faster than they do to other businesses. Xero Small Business Insights tells us that Xero-powered businesses receive payments within 32 days of invoicing on average. What do your debtor days look like? Okay, hot tip number 3 for maximising the benefits of your cloud accounting system is integrations. What are we talking about? So integrations are simply the way that different pieces of software in your business talk to each other. So cloud accounting systems are not designed to do everything your business needs. In just the same way that you focus on your specialist area, be it cosmetics manufacturing or running a coffee shop or an accounting practice or a legal firm or a clothing store, whatever it is, these systems focus on what they do best. They specialize in being a brilliant accounting system. So where our old systems have let us down in the past is they try and do a bunch of stuff that they think you might need, but they don't do it that well. So they might dabble in inventory, or they might try and do project costing, or they might pretend they can be a point of sale. Realistically, the jack of all, master of none model is well and truly in the Stone Age now. So in the old days when your business needed these extra bits of functionality, these specialty systems, often they're not even connected with the accounting system. And this means you've always got multiple sources of truth for all of your information. You never really know where the real figures are in the accounting system, or if they're in the other system. And you need to reconcile between the two. It's really painful and so much wasted time. So these modern cloud accounting systems deliberately don't have the capability to do all of these other things your business needs. But this is where cloud accounting is so special. These platforms let you have the best accounting system and then seamlessly plug in the other tools you need to run your business. So you get to choose the best inventory system, the best CRM, the best point of sale, the best project management software that your business needs, and not be stuck with something mediocre just because it lives inside the accounting system. And it all talks to each other. So this is what we call the ecosystem concept, where you get to choose the best tools for your business. And historically, this privilege has been reserved only for those really, really big companies that have the resources to, invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in people and tools to get systems to talk to each other. Excuse me. I'm talking too much. Now we can all have it at a teeny tiny fraction of the cost. So the fourth way to maximize the benefits of cloud accounting is to embrace real-time information. So how many of us wait until the end of the month to make our business decisions? None of us, right? That's why it just doesn't make sense. That is not realistic. We need to make decisions every day. So we might need to decide if we need more staff on in the restaurant on Saturday because of an event that's going on down the road, or another van and a driver because our plumbing business is growing so much, or, you know, what level of advertising we might need to get more curtains out the door this month. We need the information all the time. Many of you are experienced enough to make many of these decisions based on gut and what you see. So, you know, we might hire a new accountant because the team looks really busy, or we might import more stock because the Aussie dollar smells okay at the time. But wouldn't it be great if you had the information, so the data and the science to support these gut feelings and ideas that experience brings us and support these decisions? Wouldn't it be great if you could see the data and, you know, if you could see from your data that actually, yeah, to grow my business, I need an additional van, and that makes sense. You know, I need another plumber because I'm working as efficiently as possible already, and we're on really high margin jobs, but physically I can't fix any more taps in a week. So the thing makes sense. And this is the magic that cloud accounting brings us. Coupling the cloud with daily bank recs, either that you do yourself or that you outsource, can give you a daily view of how your business is performing. And there's two reasons that this is gold. Firstly, to stay ahead of the competition, we all need to be agile. We need to be able to respond to changes in the competitive landscape and anticipate them and move quickly to get ahead. We can't do that if we can't make fast, fully informed decisions every day. We can't do that if we're relying on gut, and we definitely can't do that if we're waiting for our monthly reports. The second reason is access to experts, which we'll talk a little bit about now. Sorry. So the fifth and arguably the easiest way to maximize the benefits of cloud accounting is to collaborate with experts. Because your records aren't bound to your laptop or that old machine that's sitting in the corner of the office that you hope like crazy never dies because it has all of your business life history on it, you can actually work seamlessly with those with the expertise to help you keep things under control so you don't have to worry, or those that can help you take things to the next level. We were talking earlier about bank feeds and access to live information so you can make decisions for your business quickly and easily. This beautiful functionality only comes together when the bookkeeping is done regularly and ideally daily. And the great thing about cloud is it's easy enough that you can do this. You can knock out your bank recs on your phone while you're watching My Kitchen Rules if you want to. But really, if you didn't have to, would you? It might actually be a good time for our second poll. So I'm just going to launch that now, and it would be great if you took, 15 seconds to have a look. Just bear with me. Number 2, there we go. So if you can, tell us what accounting software you're currently using and what you would do if you had more free time. So say you moved to a cloud accounting platform and you had all this more free time. So outsourcing your bookkeeping really is the ultimate achievement of peace of mind. Everything is done for you, so you can get on with doing what you love, either in your business or in your personal life. Just excuse me. I've got a real tickle today. It's very annoying. Sorry. So you have that great confidence that if it does get a little bit tricky, you've got experts there to help you if you need and when you need it. So some of you might already have someone in-house that looks after these things for you, but I'll ask you a couple of questions. Who picks up the pieces when that person goes on leave or is away unwell? Do you still get what you need as a business owner? Who has to retrain for that role if the person leaves the business? And thirdly, is that person up to date with all the latest technology and tricks for efficiency, or are they just doing what they've always done? So we understand all of these challenges for business because we have the same challenges in our business. And that's why BDO's bookkeeping team is so popular with our clients. They're meticulous. They're available all year round. They're proactive and always up to date with the latest tech and efficiency hacks for your business. And we know how important data privacy is for everyone. And we also know that the idea of offshoring doesn't always sit well with everyone. So we've built a team of experts here in Australia that take care of your books for you. Our team loves this stuff. And because they love it, they're always looking out for the little things, the little 1%ers that can help you help them get it right, or just help you do less. They're incredibly proactive. Yuck, payroll. Who likes payroll? I hate payroll. It is such a tricky area and it's so critical to get right. If we muck up people's pay, we muck up the culture in our business. There's significant compliance risk surrounding payroll. Single touch payroll will allow the ATO to see exactly who's not paying PAYG withholding to the ATO, who's not paying super into employee super accounts, which is not scary for for those of us that are doing the right thing. But for those of us that use tax and super payments, maybe to finance normal business cash flow, it's time to find other sources of funding. The execution of the Fair Work Act is getting stronger and stronger with the legislation very heavily stacked in favour of protecting employees. So even what we find is the most well-intentioned employers can be caught out accidentally doing the wrong thing and opening themselves up to being named and shamed by the ombudsman and facing large penalties and all sorts of things. So even if the day-to-day processing of payroll is pretty easy, payroll always throws curveballs. And this is where we all need an expert to tap into to make sure we can work through these tricky spots really safely. If it was my business, I would be outsourcing payroll to the experts in a heartbeat. I hate payroll. It's too stressful for me. I just want to know everyone's paid properly all of the time, that they're treated fairly, just as I've intended, and that the business is protected from any compliance risk. We know that 89% of businesses feel more confident and are more successful when they're working with a trusted advisor. But a recent study shows us that only 26% of Australian small to medium businesses are tapping into this expert advice and guidance from an accountant or an advisor to help them with their business challenges. So if my maths is correct, 74% of Australian small to medium businesses are missing out on the huge benefits of connecting with a trusted advisor. Cloud accounting breaks down all the barriers of enablement for business. So not only do you now have access to front of market technology, which was once reserved for the big rich companies, but the cloud enables effective connections with expert advisors in the industry. None of the work I did with my clients when I was a fractional CFO would have been possible without the cloud. It just wouldn't have been scalable. There wouldn't be enough time for me to drive around and visit everyone, check out their financials, work through their issues. With the cloud, I could proactively monitor my clients' business health and give them any guidance at any point. I loved it. I loved partnering with these businesses and giving them the peace of mind to go out and excel at their passion, at the thing they love. Because after all, most of us don't go into business because we're good at running a business. We do it because we love the thing we do, the thing that, we're passionate about it and that we're really good at it. So if we want to make sure that we're really maximising all the efficiencies and peace of mind that cloud accounting can bring us, we need to make sure we're using all the features of our software to its full potential. So a quick checklist. Some of Some of these will apply to those of you using the cloud, and some will apply to others that aren't quite there yet. So, do you have bank feeds enabled on all your bank accounts? Or are you still applying old process in new software maybe? Have you set up bank rules for regular transactions? Or are you keying in the coding for the same transactions week after week, month after month? That tickle just won't go away. Can your staff self-service their payroll documents in a mobile app, or do you have a staff member managing payroll queries and changes and that sort of thing? Can your managers review and confidently approve leave applications for staff with visibility of all the team's leave requests, leave entitlements, all of that from their mobile device? Well, or do they have to guess or manually check with HR or with payroll? Are your rosters integrated with your timesheets that can be completed on a mobile app? And do they then integrate with payroll? Or do you paper timesheets still get manually checked against rostered and manually keyed into payroll? Are you paperless or anywhere close to it? Are you able to check what that particular expense was for just using the software, or do you have to go to the filing cabinet? What have we got next? Do you invoice as soon as the work is complete, maybe using a mobile app to invoice on site if this is relevant for you? Or is there a delay, perhaps a build-up of paperwork to do each week or each month that includes invoicing? Have you enabled online payments and automated debtor follow-up? Or are your debtor days still greater than 32? Do you sometimes feel like you're working for free? Do your business systems talk to each other, or are you still stuck rekeying or reconciling between different systems in your business? Are you using the data, so the hard evidence, to support your decision-making in your business, or are we still relying on gut feel and experience? Have you outsourced your bookkeeping? Or are you leaving it to the end of the month or the end of the quarter and dreading this pile up of work? Or do you spend your precious time doing this when you could be growing your business or spending time with your family? Or do you still have to manage a staff member to do this and cover their leave and retrain and all that sort of thing? Are you confident that your payroll is 100% compliant with Fair Work and all the relevant awards? Or are you concerned there might be just a little something you don't know that you don't know? And lastly, have you connected with an advisor to help you manage and grow your business? Or are you still doing some guessing and hoping you're on the right track? So we've got some time for some questions. I'm just going to have a look at our little chat box, and please go ahead and punch anything into there that you've thought of now. Yes, absolutely. This is being recorded. Everyone that's registered for the webinar, whether they have attended or not, will receive a recording of today's session. Do I have any tips on good payroll applications that integrate with Xero? We understand the time cost of paper. Awesome. The time cost of paper is massive. I'm so glad you've got there. Our favorite payroll application is KeyPay. It integrates seamlessly with Xero. In fact, we use that in the Adelaide office to manage our payroll and do our back office stuff. It's got a whole range of functionality in time and attendance as well. I'm not sure exactly what industry you're in, but that may or may not be relevant. Hi Shai, we are now using MyOb accounting right. So MyOb account right. How to transfer these files to Xero? How long does it take normally? So our specialist conversion team does all of this work for our clients. So they basically do conversions every single week, if not every day. So they have a meticulous process to make sure not only is all the data that you want, that the output gives you a system that actually brings you all the benefits that you want. So normally we allow ourselves a buffer of 2 weeks. So you're probably wondering what happens to the data entry in that 2 weeks. So what would happen in the meantime is our team would process any payrolls that need to get done in that time and anything that's business critical. So they'd make sure that happens, no one goes unpaid or anything. And then there's a very small catch up of data that we do in the nice clean new Xero file. And that's basically what happens. So Emily, I'm not sure who you liaise with at BDO, but I'm happy for you to reach out to me directly and I can help you perhaps get a quote and work through this with you directly if you like. No problems, anytime. Any other questions from anybody today? So if you do think of anything, or maybe you're a bit shy to ask it in front of everybody, feel free to just drop me an email, drop me a line, and I will help you through any queries that you have. So I know you're all super excited about cloud now, and we'll be in touch with you later today to show you how you can request a complimentary cloud consultation. And like I said, also give you access to that recording in case you might like to share it with your friends. Another question here, does Xero have job accounting like MyOb? So Xero utilizes something that we call tracking. So I'm assuming you're talking about the job categories that you use in MyOb. Does that come across to Xero? It does to an extent. Like I said, when I was talking about integrations, depending on how complex or how much you rely on that sort of job tracking, job costing, we always recommend looking at a specialist tool to do that. And of course, that would plug directly into Xero. But if you just use it to, I suppose, support another level of reporting, for example, Xero's tracking categories will handle that absolutely no problem. Ray, perhaps that is another thing we could work through offline, just so I can understand the level of complexity you're dealing with in your particular business, if that's okay. So like I was saying before, the BDO Cloud team are highly experienced in helping their clients make the switch and are brilliant at making sure it's a smooth and seamless experience for the business and everyone involved. So the team will work with you to come up with the best plan of attack for moving your business to the cloud. If you've enjoyed the content today, please make sure you follow us on all socials. You can see all the goss on your screen. And that's it. So thanks very much for joining us today. I'll leave you with a quote from one of our favorite cloud integration partners, an absolute industry superstar and great mate of mine, Jerry Murphy. Life is better in the cloud. Have a great day, everyone.